ask one thing, Jay. You're one of the greatest representative ever to hold the Mr. Olympia title. Yep. On Jay Cutler TV, your great YouTube channel, by the way, that we actually follow, YouTube Jay Cutler. Shawn Rhoden, before this Olympia, said that he was not impressed by Phil Heath as a representative for the title. Are you impressed with what Shawn Rhoden is doing in his reign as Mr. Olympia?
No, I'm not. And that's not an insult to Shawn. And you know, Phil, I'm sure Phil's kind of sitting back and saying, you know, when he lost that title, and you know, I know how passionate Phil is, right? We're great friends for a lot of years, and that guy is just, you know, he has hit Mr. Olympia from the day I saw him. I mean, before he was anything, and I honestly, he had the physique, but I think more importantly, he had the mindset. When I had the conversation, that's when I realized this guy is going to be a great, if not one of the greatest. You know, we talk about representation of the title, and Lee Haney was awesome. Yeah. Dorian Yates had his style. Ronnie Coleman had his. I hate to sit and say, well, you're the greatest ambassador representative. That's not necessarily true, because people have opinions on that, right? It's an opinion thing. But I think, you know, Shawn, you know, he did travel. He did do a lot of things, but I'm not necessarily sure he did what he possibly could to really, really help himself to be, you know, have people that he is now the title holder. I think he's been a little absent from, you know, doing the extra media and traveling to certain events that really make a difference in, you know, Mr. Olympia status. But listen, we all do things our own way. I mean, he has a family. I can speak very selfishly. I mean, I didn't have children. I didn't. Yeah. I just worked and traveled. It was a different era when I won the Mr. Olympia also. I mean, there was a lot of hype around it. I beat a guy that was unbeatable. It was never supposed to happen, according to most, and it did, and the magazine still existed. So if you don't have a person that's going to help you with all those kind of things, it's very hard to do it as an individual, because we talk about bodybuilding individually all the time. It's not necessarily that. But if I was Shawn, I mean, listen, the guy took all the year off. Maybe that's what he does, but I love training too much. There is no way I can stay out of the gym for more than 2 weeks at a time. Yeah. And I think, you know, him showing up at Pittsburgh and posing with all the top guys and representing Mr. Olympia. Listen, Shawn does what he does, but he probably shouldn't have made that decision to stand on the stage and look the way he did, in my opinion, because it's kind of, you know, everyone kind of misses the point. Well, leave Shawn alone. That's what he does. But, you know, you're representing the best bodybuilder in the world. And when you show up and you take your clothes off and you look the worst of everyone in that lineup, what does that speak for the Mr. Olympia title? And that's what I think is people are kind of missing. And I'm not trying to put Shawn down or anything like that, but you have to make basic decisions that are smart business decisions and smart representation decisions. And that was not one that happened this past weekend.